the different direct taxation papers. We have finished our syllabus. Last session, we talked about discussion how to file income tax return. So we understood the return filing process and we tried to learn how the return are being filed. So I'll revise again the return filing process and then we'll talk about the previous year's question papers. So let me share the first PPT, then we'll discuss the question papers. And once I finish the discussion about question papers, we will end this session. After this session, if you have any doubts regarding direct taxation, how to solve the numericals and so on, so you're supposed to meet me in person or you just write an email so that I can schedule offline guest session and we can discuss more in detail. So filing of income tax, it is mandatory for first to have a clear financial transparency regarding my income. So if I file a return, it will help to disclose my financial liabilities and it will help a financial accomplishment. A person who has more than 2.5 lakhs income, he is supposed to file the return. Even it is not mandatory for him to file the return, but if he file the return, then his financial position is withheld. The resident individuals, Hindu undivided family, other companies, and other related individuals who are holding PAN card and having some income, if they file the returns, it will always account their financial validity and give legal compliances. In 2025, around 6 crore taxpayers in India file the income tax. Now, how to prepare your income tax return? First, I need to have some common documents. So, first document is PAN card. PAN card is permanent account number. It is an account number held by an individual for payment of taxation. This account number is an information which mentions what is my name, what are my details, where I belong, and my other details. So whenever I'm filing an income tax return, I need to furnish details of PAN card. Then I should have a valid documents of my income proof that can be Form 16 or Form 26A showing the tax credit. If I'm doing a business, then I should have audited balance sheet for submission as my income proof. To validate my justification about income, I also require to submit my bank details, its IFSC code, and interest which I earn. Then I require most important to submit all the documents of related to deductions. If I claim any deductions, I need to furnish the documents about the same. Then, if I'm the only earning income from salary or any other specified source, up to 50 lakhs, I have to file ITR 1, which is called Sahaj. In case my income is more than one source and it more than 50 lakhs, I have to file ITR 2, 3, and 4, depend on source of income and tax deduction. So, if my income is from business profits, capital gain, and multiple source, I'm not eligible for filing ITR 1. Now let's talk about step by step how I can fill the income tax return. The first step, I have to visit the official site of income tax, that is incometaxofindia.gov slash IEC slash FO portal, and I had to log in there by my login details. If I'm the first time users, then I have to register myself for payment of return by filling the details regarding my PAN card, my bank details, my other details, and I need to validate them. After this, I have to go to the income tax menu and select the core return which I'm applicable. If I'm confused which return I'm applicable, it is always suggested that you file the income tax return early so that revision of return is possible before end date. Suppose I wrongly filled ITR 3, but I'm liable for ITR 4, or I'm liable for ITR 1 and I have filled ITR 4. So to revise this, at least I need to file the first ITR way before so that revision is possible. After due date, if I apply for revision, normally income tax authorities do not allow me for stay. Similarly, if I have huge refund, then in that case, the ITR need to be filed very early and precisely, having clarification of all the documents. Once I choose ITR, then I have to choose for which financial years I am filing the return. For example, if financial year 25-26 I am filing the return, then the assessment year will be 24-25. Then there are two methods of filing returns. One, online method, and second is offline method. As we see in last lecture, in online method, I fill all the contents on website. Step by step, I go on validating that, and in the end, I will calculate taxable income, and then I will pay the tax which I have accounted due to calculation of the process. Then, after filling details, I have to check whether the field details are as per the Form 16 and whether I have filled all previous paid taxes as per the Form 26 AS, which is mean by TDS or advance tax payments. After collecting all details, checking the deductions, I need to ensure that the other than income, sorry, salary income, details of house property, income from other source are correctly filled. Then I need to check the contact details and validate the bank account information so that if any refund, it is into my bank account precisely. Then after filling all this, the portal or the Excel utility, it will give me what is my tax. After verifying my tax, I need to pay the tax online, either by UPI, card, or by challan. If I'm paying by challan, I need to visit the bank, pay the challan, and whatever the challan number I need to fill online. Or if I'm filing offline, I need to submit this challan copy to the income tax authority. Then income tax authorities will verify the all deductions I'm claiming, the source of income, and then they find out what is my tax liability. They will match the tax liability with the tax paid amount, and once they ascertain the tax paid amount, they will process the return. If any return is extra, then they will be doing refund process, and if any additional demand, they will issue a demand notice for the individual. In fifth step, when I'm submitting, the verification of ITR starts. First verification is whether I'm eligible for filing ITR 1 or not, ITR 2 or not, and so on. whether I have filled all information correct, whether there is any gap between information filled and required. Then, once I check this, I have to validate my bank account and OTP. This other OTP in bank validation is must process before submission because this will help me to avoid lack of proper information because most of the time my accounts are other linked. So if they are other linked, it precisely helps me to understand the refund process and other gates. So I will validate other OTP. After validating other OTP, I will validate the submission of my digital by again one more OTP. This second OTP is being asked to validate the information given. So it's like a digital signature I'm making and ensuring that I'm filing a return and giving consent. The values are true and known. Then after filing process, there is CPC, Center Processing Center. It is in Bangalore, and the second center they are open in Chennai, and one they are proposing Ghaziabad. These centers are known as the data centers of income tax. They will verify the all field information against the proofs attached. They will verify the NIC, that is National Informatics Center's data about all transactions, all incomes or savings where my PAN account details are mentioned. They ensure the contents of ITR are matching to my contents of declaration. Once they find the matching, they will observe whether the returns are filed in time and they are verified in 20 to 45 days after submission. When I submit it and my all data is correct, then I receive the confirmation about my ITR. If any refund is there, the income tax authority has to process these refunds in 45 working days and intimate the taxpayer by email and SMS. So once I get intimation about refund, the refund will be collected automatically in my source bank account from where I paid the tax. If I not paid the tax, then they will credit to the bank account which I have attached as linked bank account while filing income tax return. Now, what are penalties and deadline for income tax return? For assessment year 2024-25, that is last year, I need to file the income tax if I'm individual by maximum of 15th of September. Now, in today's paper, there is news. This due date is extended again by 2 days due to server error. So for 25-26, where the assessment year is 24-25, the tax filing date is 17th September. If I do not file return in time and I'm a late, then I may be charged penalty up to rupees 5,000 under section 23F or rupees 1,000 for income more than 5 lakhs. In case I still remain unpaid, then I'll have to pay 1% interest under section 234A as a penalty for unpaid tax amounts. So I'm liable for 5,000 penalty or 1,000, 1% interest for unpaid tax. Now, what are common challenges and tips for income tax return filing? First, whenever I'm going to file income tax return, ensure you have PAN card and Aadhaar card linkages. Ensure your PAN card is linked with your bank account, your Aadhaar card is linked with bank account, and your PAN card and bank card details are valid and they are correctly matched. There should not be error about dates. There should not be error about name. surname, or middle name. The age and gender should be properly mentioned. After doing verification, I have to also complete e-verification about refund and validation of my income tax within 30 days. I need to also ensure while filing a return that if I'm claiming any TDS, I have to verify the TDS details given by employer under Form 26A S or under Form 17AB, depending on type of employer. I need to check the certificate that whether the tax collected by the employer has been paid or not. These are the some helplines which is provided by Indian government as a customer support that in case I have any doubt, I can just dial the numbers and take their assistance. So filing these returns are also available online guidelines and e-tutorials which I can access through official websites. There are some tax helpers appointed by income tax authority. So I can approach these qualified consultants or I can take the service of any chartered accounts for filing if I'm not capable or I'm having doubt. A true Indian has to file his income tax return in time and compile with all the documentation and process because the filing of proper return will justify the financial validity and avoid tax evasion, and ultimately this will help my secure future. So this was a process of income tax filing return. We have finished your syllabus for direct taxation. So this is syllabus for direct taxation. I will zoom out. So the first unit of direct taxation, we talk about some basic concepts like what is in the direct tax, what is agricultural income, what is assessment year, what is in the previous year, what is the gross income, and so on. We compare the old and new direct tax system. We talk about income which is exempted under Section 10 and which tax regime is favorable for whom. Now, in first unit, when you're solving question paper, the MCQs are maximum expected on this unit. So prepare the definitions, basic concepts under unit 1 for getting at least 10 score in examination. The second question or second unit is income under head of salary. Here, three things are important. First, valuation of perquisites, and second, valuation of allowance, and third, deductions under section 80s. So, please by heart the various deductions about section 80 and tax treatment of various allowances and perquisites. The second unit, we are expected to have a full-fledged numerical. No theory is expected here. So please be ready about numerical on income on salaries. For income under head, that is profit and business, your third unit, it is expected that they will ask again a numerical. In the numerical, there are four types of examples. One, a depreciation. Second, they will ask about VRS. Third, they will talk about family pension. And the last, the scientific research. So four adjustments are expected under profits and gains and profession. Here, chance of theory is there, but the chance of theory is very few. Under fourth, that is a capital gain, there can be theory and there can be numerical. Maximum time they will ask for the numerical and it is long term. If they ask the numerical on fourth unit for short run, they will ask theory. So unit number one is clear cut theory. Unit number two and unit number three, numerical will be asked. Unit number four, chance of theory is 20% and chance of numerical will be 80%. If I go down to the unit number five, it is pure theoretical. So on this unit, they will ask the questions on advance tax payment, TDS, tax planning, and deduction under Section 24 and Section 80. So these are the contents of your syllabus. You have been suggested these books, that is Direct Tax by Jacotia, Kishore, Sina, and Shekhar. What I normally find that Student's Guide to Income Tax by Vinod Singania is the best book to prefer compared to all other books. Your syllabus is not mentioned that whether you require to solve numericals or not. So it is not clear that whether numericals will be part of your question paper or not. From Friday onwards, you will able to access all the PPTs which I use for your teaching on our college website, and you can refer to that website PPTs. Now, this was syllabus. Whatever part you feel that sir, this part should be repeated, please inform by email so that I can take your additional session for direct taxation. Now let's talk about what is the pattern of question paper. I will zoom it for you. This was 2016 pattern question paper. In syllabus of 2008, 2013, and 2016, direct taxation papers were solved as external paper. But after 2019 revise, this subject become internal and no papers are available. So we're just discussing three, four previous papers so that you will get an idea what is nature of paper and how to deal with. Please remember, I'm going to finish this lecture early because I'm just going to talk three, four papers and finish it. All of you, please go through the syllabus of direct taxation. Please prepare well. This is one of the scoring subject for the finance specialization. It is very easy. Only condition you should able to understand the different laws, their use and logics. So let's talk about pattern of question paper. The total marks are given 50. The time is 2.5 hours. Here, because it is 2016 pattern, the question paper will not have any MCQs. You will find five questions are there, and each question is of 10 marks. For each question, you have option, and there is nothing question number one for MCQ. From 2019 revise, that is from 2021 pattern, we follow the first question as MCQ and second question as short notes. But this method is followed after 2021 pattern, that is 2019 revise. So, what is the question paper we have in? We missed that first question about MCQ. So, you need to keep on practice about MCQs. I'll try to share with you the various MCQs on direct taxation. Please read that MCQs and understand how to solve. So, let's go to the question number one. Please read the question number one. I'll wait for some time. So the first question is write any 10 example of income which is not part of total income. Here I have to give explanation what is not total income. Even though if I mention some deductions here, it can be part of not total income. For example, income of minor, any agriculture income, then it is not part of my income. So I need to find out the types of income which is having exemptions, the types of income which is not part of total income and mention here. So for one answer, I'm getting 1 mark. So when I'm writing this type of questions answer, I have to write name of that income, a short illustration about meaning, and last example. The question 1B talks about residential status. Please remember, till date, the residential status question is only come before 2016, and it is not expected a theory question on residential status. But please remember those two conditions, that is basic and advanced, when you are preparing for examination of direct taxation. Now, in a residential status, if they're asking you explanation, you should first talk about what is importance of residential status and how it matters about taxation. Then you should talk about basic conditions and advanced conditions. Then, if I satisfy one or both basic condition, what happens? If I satisfy or complete both, then what happens in case of advance? And then you have to quote the residential status of an individual based on advanced and basic condition as resident and ordinary resident, or resident but not ordinary resident, and last, not ordinary resident. The second question here we have is on salary. Please read the question. We'll discuss. It says Mr. Ajay, who is general manager of ABC, has following details. He is working in Pune. So we'll come to know he is in Pune. He is working with ABC Limited. So it is not government company. And name of person is Mr. Ajay. His basic salary is 25,000 per month. His dearness allowance is 2,000 per month. A recognized provident fund is 14% of salary. Now, what is allowed? Employer contribution is allowed 15%, and employee contribution is allowed 9%. So, whatever the extra contribution employer is doing, then it will be taxable. The city compensation allowance is 500 per month. So, it is allowed maximum 800 rupees. Since here it is 500, we should allow it. The house rent allowance is 3,000 per month and rent paid is 2,500 per month. So we have the clause that actual rent paid or house rent allowance minus 10% of salary deducting from rent paid. So whatever the lowest will exempt, and if anything remains out of exemption, then it is taxable. The traveling allowance is 2,000 per annum. It is allowed as per income tax 1,600. So 400, sorry, 1,600 per month. So the traveling allowance is within the limit. So we'll allow. He spent 1,800 actually It means in this case 200 he has just claiming but he has not spent. So if any income is not incurred or expense not incurred, I'm recording, that is inappropriate. So in this case, this 200 will be charged to him and no rebate given. He will only allow deductions up to 1,800. Entertainment allowance is 1,000 per month. Now please remember, entertainment allowance is taxable in case of private employees. So this 1,000 amount is fully taxable. He is receiving free gas, water, electricity, for which employees pay 1,000 per month. Now, if this benefit is given to all, then it is exempted. But in other cases, this is fully taxable. The professional tax paid is 225 per month. Now, maximum limit is 2,500 per year. So, if the professional tax is more than 2,500, it is not taxable and the person can claim rebate for extra tax payment while filing a return. If you can just check, there are 10 different adjustments are given, and for each adjustment, there is 1 mark because total question is for 10 marks. So, question 2 normally expected on income from salaries. Whatever the provisions and calculation we have seen, it is combinedly calculated here, and then you will get a 10 marks. Please make sure whatever the assumption you make that this is the amount, that is the purpose, you should write your assumptions and working note as a part of answer. If you mention the assumptions and working note as a part of answer, that will give more value to your answer and you will get more score. So, while writing the solutions, please ensure you are writing precisely with maximum explanation and clear assumptions because sometimes it is given as income tax. I may assume income tax of business or I may assume as the income tax of individual. If I assume as a business, then it is allow exemption under business and profession. But if it is individual tax, then that case it is not allowed. So whatever the assumptions I'm making, they are part of my answer. So core answer, you will get 8 marks. For assumptions and working notes, minimum 2 marks are reserved. So when you solve the numericals in direct taxation, please add a working note to your question. The question 2B is again for salary. So similar to the question 2A, I should also calculate working note here. Maximum time, education, car, house rent allowance, and most important, telephone or servant. These are the adjustments which are given for numerical. So again, 9 entries are there. Now, when 9 entries are there, it means there are one or two hidden entries because in a question paper, they always give 10 adjustment for 10 marks. So if you can see in adjustment 8, HR paid 1,500 per month, but he received 4,500. So this is one. Second, in case of children allowance, there is an adjustment. In case of hostel, there is adjustment. So luckily, here you are not getting 10 adjustment, but you are getting 9 adjustments. So it indirectly hints that for 9 adjustment, you get 9 marks, and 1 mark the examiner has kept for your presentation. How your answer is, what is justifications you are giving, and what is its relation to your answer. So you need to income from salary. You has to find out what is meant by income, what are types of income, what are source of income, and what are different perquisites and what are different allowances, and then tax liability. And based on this, you have to find out the adjustments and in the end, taxable salary, or you need to calculate tax. For unit 2 questions, you should remember the tax slabs and changes in provisions of income tax. So please refer to the PDF which I shared on WhatsApp group of placements, and my OGT group. Those who are not my mentee, please give just put me hi. I'll reshare to you. This PDF is amendments for financial year 25-26, and this can be asked as a part of your question paper. Now, if I go to the question 3, it is of question capital gain. As I said, in unit 4 of your syllabus, that is the capital gain, it might possible of a combination of theory plus numerical. So normally on capital gain, the theory is asked on index valuation, the theory is asked on short-term capital gain, theory is asked on deductions on long-term capital valuation, and in the law and last part, they will ask the theory on index valuation of improvements. Then when they have the 5 marks for capital gain, the 5 marks you can get a question on valuation of house or 5 marks question of capital gain. So be ready for that answer. When you're solving the valuation of house, then you need to first clearly mention name of the person, name of organization, his profile, whether he's the director, he's the owner. Then you have to mention the city. Then you have to mention the house rent provided. Once I mention what is given numerical, then I have to express what is the question and what may be possible solution. And then finally calculate what are exempted amount and deduct the exempted amount from my gain. So the balance amount will be called as capital gain. So in capital gain, I may or may not require to calculate the tax percentage. Similarly, in house accommodation, I may not require to calculate the taxable value. I just require to calculate the tax income. Please remember, calculation of income from let out property or rented property is very easy. First, I have to find the value of house and deduct the deductions and depreciation. What is the remaining part? It is calculated as income from house property. For question number 3, the option will be again same. If you just notice in 3A, there is the income from house calculation, and first part is capital gain theory. So similar question we find in B part, that is option. The first they're asking the concept of long-term and short-term capital gain, and then the numerical on valuation of income from house property. Now, the question they ask about income from business and profession. You will get this type of numerical and one or two adjustment will be there. So if you can see, this is a complete numerical and one or two adjustments are found. So first thing I need to do is whatever the adjustment, I have to put tick mark in a question paper. After putting tick mark, I have to find out which is business income and which is not business income. Then I need to find out which are business expenses and which are not business expenses. Those expenses of business nature are allowed as deduction. But those expenses which are not business expenses, for example, provision is not expenses. Or if I received rent, my business is not to receive the rent. So my non-business income, if any received, I need to reduce it from my profit. Whereas if I have shown any non-business expenses, I have to again add to my profit. And this will give me taxable amount of profits. So when 10 marks are given, normally 15 adjustments are given and 5 marks, and 2.5 marks to 3 marks, they are kept reserved strictly about your knowledge about section and explanation. Now, when you explain the income from business and profession, if you don't remember the section, it is okay. But at least you should be clear about logic, what deductions are allowed and what deductions are permitted. Then Option for business and profession will be the same. Please remember, when in examination you have two numericals, one with only two adjustments and one with the more than two adjustments. In that case, please select more than two adjustment numerical because maximum adjustments will give you simple numerical in table. But when only two adjustments are there, the tabular data will be complex. So whenever you get a question paper, first solve the MCQ, then solve business and profession, then solve capital gain, and in the last, go for the salary. Because salary, the numerical is short, but the complexity is high. So accordingly, plan your question paper. Then after this, we have third question. Sorry, we have third question, and that's it. Because this is an old pattern question paper, they will not follow a particular pattern of question 5 and 6. Now let me share another question paper. This is November 17 question paper. As I said, in this question paper, the first question is of theory, and they are asking the details about person, assessment year, previous year, tax, and so on. And for this option is what is the residential status? So the first question is purely on first unit, and it will talk about the theory part. The second question, if you can see, it is always based on salary. The third question will be again on salary. For each salary question, they will give 10 adjustments. If 10 adjustments are given, it is most easy numerical. But like option, they are given only five adjustments. So these five adjustments means each adjustment is of 2 marks. So here we'll find more complex nature of problem is there. So choose the numerical which has more adjustments, more clear language, so that reading between the numbers is not your responsibility. Then again, question number three is income from house property, and option to that income to house property. No- Normally, income to house property is in combination of capital gain. So they are not option, they are parallel. So capital gain and income from house property, you will get question for 5 marks, or you are lucky, then you get question for 10 marks for income on capital gain. Then we have fourth question on income from business and profession. The maximum lengthy question will be the maximum easy question. So choose the question which has more adjustment and more length. If the question is short and less adjustment, it will be critical. For various questions of business and profession, first find out business and non-business income and expenditure, and then adjust the amount for same. Please make sure that when you're solving business and profession, the first question you should solve is the capital gain, then income from house property, then business and profession, and in the last you should solve numerical for how income from salary. Normally, income from salary is the most variety chapters having different provisions, so prefer to solve in the last. Let me find out one more type of question paper. So this is the last question paper we are just doing review. After this review, we'll stop for the day and we'll henceforth only conduct session for the advanced financial management. Now, if you see the paper, it is typically repeat question. For example, question 1A, if it is for basics of income tax, then question B will be for residential status. So even in residential status, I'm asking the theory part. In question 2, you will again find numerical on salary. See, there are 9 adjustments are given or 10 adjustments are given. If 9 to 10 adjustments, select that numerical. In question 3, you will find income from house property and it is with 5 marks for capital gain. So, in normal question number 3, you will get theory for income from house property and numerical on capital gain. Or ulta, you will get theory on capital gain and numerical on income from house property. The question 4 is always followed numerical on income from business and profession. And the last question is always about tax planning or calculation of your total income. Now, be prepared that last question will be either total income or any deductions. So, if I see the syllabus, my first unit, that is introduction, is for MCQs. My second unit, income from salaries, will have maximum value because it will come as separate question and it will be part of your total income calculation. In case of chapter 2, you have maximum calculation part, maximum allowances, and maximum purchases. Please study this chapter accordingly. In case of unit 3, income from business and profession, you need to talk about VRS, scientific research, depreciation, and contribution to political party. And the last, you need to talk about set off and carry forward of losses. The most important aspect of income from business and profession is allowed and disallowed income and expenditure. Then income under head capital gain and source, you get two type of questions. One, part A, if there is asked on capital gain. Part B, they will ask the question on income from our property. Or ulta, if they ask the theory on income from house property, they will ask numerical on capital gain. So unit 2 and 3, numerical will be there. Unit 4, numerical plus theory, it will be there. In case of unit 5, rarely you will get numerical, but chances is that a lengthy question like filing a return, deductions under section 10, advance payment. So you'll get here a lengthy question. So this was the pattern of question papers and content of syllabus. So we have finished the discussion about direct taxation and hereby we have finished the syllabus for direct tax. So it is suggested to go through the books, complete your study about direct taxation and be ready for your examinations. So if any doubts about direct taxation, you can just share me via email or walk in the college. I will clarify your doubts. So this is all about the today's session on direct tax.